All right, there's only one software that you absolutely must use if you're looking to scale your OnlyFans management agency, and that is Inflow, which we're going to cover extensively in today's lesson. We're going to be going over everything you need to know on exactly how to get started, what even is the platform, why you need to use it, how to set it up, how to connect your clients' accounts to it, and all of the extra smart features. Look, if you're going to try and run an agency without Inflow, it is basically like trying to use a flip phone compared to nowadays an iPhone. It's just a night and day difference. There's such a massive difference, and you must actually use Inflow. So watch this entire lesson. If you want to learn more about OFM, there'll be a link down below. And also if you want to use Inflow as well, and you want to get a 2-week free trial plus, I think it was 40% off on your first month with Inflow, you can also apply or actually sign up with the link down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
So let's begin with the very first step. So obviously you are a new agency that have just registered a CRM. So welcome to Inflow. One of the first steps that you need to do is obviously download the Inflow from inflow.com. It's available on across all the operating systems for Mac or Windows as well. So it's a desktop application which you can download. You can pull it up from your desktop menu as well. So one of the first steps that you need to do when you are opening your account for the first time is obviously you need to set up your account. You need to prepare your Inflow account in a way that you can start working, you can start adding creators, you can start adding employees. But we all know about all of these security measures that agencies are also taking. So for example, you want to make sure that the employees that you are adding, they have the necessary accesses, but they also have the necessary limitations, or in better words, they call restrictions, what to prevent any unnecessary headaches for the future to come. So even before adding your first employee or first creator, we recommend setting up Inflow. There are two main things that I would recommend starting with. First of all is check the role settings. So obviously, when we are going to add employees to your account, you need to define what roles you are going to assign to your employees. As you have a big organization, an agency, chatters, you might have team leaders, account managers, social media managers, any function that you have can be implemented to Inflow. We have some predefined roles here, what you can already customize. But if you are missing a role, you can just easily add one, such as, let's just call them account manager and account manager for XYZ agency. And once you hit save, the role has been already created. So it's simple as that. But let's check one of the most simple cases, what we can find here. So we are customizing the role permissions for the chatters, because chatters are the ones that are going to spend most of their time on Inflow using the chatting interface and so on. So we head over to set permissions, and you can see that all of the features, including the OF native features, are implemented into the permission setting. We made this customizable in a way that you can cover absolutely everything when it comes to managing your OnlyFans agency. We know that there are different agencies with bigger or smaller employees. You have different structure, different build up. So we wanted to please absolutely everyone. So we have just decided to put every single feature available for you to be able to personalize it. So starting on the left side, we have all of the main menus that you can either enable completely or disable. So this means that whenever your chatter is going to log into Inflow, they will just simply not see one of these menus if you disable them completely. But if you scroll it down, like for example on OF Manager, you see that most of the OF native features, but also some features included in the Messaging Pro can be customized. So let's say you don't want your chatters to delete conversation because of, for example, quality assurance purposes. You don't want them to be able to block users or create OF mass messages or unsend OF messages. This all depends on how your organization is built up. And moving down from here as well, it just only gets better and better. So you can manage how to enable and disable all of the categories that you are looking for. What's really important is the data permissions. So let's say that we are talking about a chatter. The chatter can only see the data about themselves. That means the sales that they are generating, the creators that they are assigned to, and that's it. If you have, for example, a team leader who is managing a group of chatters, you can set the team leader role to have self and subordinate. So this means that they will have access to their own information and own data, plus all of the data that of its subordinates. So this means that the chatters they are handling. And obviously, all data usually goes to the owners or the admins as well. So once you are done with this, you click on save, and you are done with the chatters. And you can do the rest of the permissions here as well. It's very recommended to set it up just to kind of avoid some future consequences about running this account. Next up, we have the sales settings. So the sales settings are equally important even before adding your first employee, because this is how the chatter sales is going to be calculated. Now, once again, the goal of a CRM is to eliminate any kind of third-party application just to be able to manage everything in one place. So this is very important because the way you define the sales settings, that is based on how the sales is attributed to your chatters. So once we click on edit, by default, you have all the messages and all of the tips from messages. Like let's say when we're talking about messages, I'm talking about PPVs that the chatters are sending to each other. It's by default set to the sales is attributed to the message sender, which means whoever sent the PPV, the fan purchased it, the sales will go to the message sender. It's simple as that. If, for example, there are multiple employees working on the same shift for the assigned creator, let's say we have a creator with over 100,000 followers, their inbox is pretty busy, so you need more than just one chatter at any given time to deal with. So you enable this one as well. So you can either set this attribute to the message sender or to the last chatter who messaged the fan within 1 hour and 0 minutes, but you can also customize that. If you want to assign additional sales, you can obviously do that. It's just by default, so you don't need to take this as a reference. This all depends on how your organization is structured, whether you have different people in your team who are handling different types of sales. And also don't forget these 3 important points, whether you want to exclude the welcome messages or the OnlyFans service fee so that the commission is actually calculated in net or gross earning of the creator, and exclude refunds. So once you are done with that, you click on save, and now you are fully prepped. So now that we have the role settings prepared and the sales setting, there is nothing that can hold us back from being able to actually start working. So when it comes to managing creators or managing employees, this is a question of what came first, the egg or the chicken, because this is how you can set up your account. I usually go with managing the employees. We will add all of the employees. It's completely free for example, because we don't charge the employee accounts, only the creators. So once you are at the employees, you click on add employee. You give the employee your name. It's kind of like an internal name for Inflow. You fill out the email address. You can also create subgroups. Now, this is very important when we are talking about, like, let's say having a team leader, or if your organization is built up on different locations like agency A, agency B, agency C. So you can better define which one of your employees belongs to which category. Obviously, a very important part is to select the role of the employee. So in this case, it would be chatter. And if you already have linked creator, and this is where it comes the chicken and the egg situation, you can already assign the creators that are linked to Inflow. You can assign all of them or just specific ones, so there's no limitation here. And once you hit save, you will see a progress here on the list that, let's say, Izzy has been created, and you will see a status bar, which means that you will see when the chatter or the employee itself has activated the account. So in order to activate an account, the employee will receive an activation email on the registered email address, clicks on the link, sets up the password, downloads the application, and once they log in, they will instantly have access to the creator's account and all of the permissions that you initially set up for them. This means that we can eliminate any security issues as well, such as sharing the creator's login details and passwords. You don't need to do that because they are already logged into it.
Just
So once we have,
just one thing
yeah,
to add, by the way, for everybody watching. I know this might seem like common sense, hopefully for most of you, but just for some people who are a little bit confused, if you don't assign any said creator to the chatters, they obviously just simply won't be even able to see it on your inflow. So again, this would be going for if you have a bunch of different groups, eventually, as you guys are scaling, and you guys will have multiple different groups with multiple different team leaders within each group. Each group, of course, has different clients that are managing them, right? Different creators. And this is where you can assign specific creators for specific chatters and groups.
yes, correct. So you do need a creator you are working with, otherwise you cannot even use the entire feature itself. You can always edit the existing employees as well. You can always assign or eliminate creators if you feel like, okay, it was too much for them. So it's completely customizable. It's not just a one-time thing that you set it up and that's it. You have to start all over again. All right, let me just point this out.
And whilst you're just switching to the next place as well, just for all of you guys who are also watching, and we went over at the very beginning the settings and changing around the roles and editing them, etc. Of course, you're more than welcome to really do a deep dive and look through absolutely everything and certain things you might want to change. But just for a bit of context, we haven't really changed anything on there, so you guys don't necessarily need to. But it is an absolutely incredible option for you guys there to customize it really truly how you want it, especially once you do start hiring more staff members which have different roles, because at the moment the main ones that are on there, such as like the team leader, the chatter, and so on, they are set out, at least for me personally, exactly how I'd like it, so we don't really have to change them. But yeah, once you are starting to add custom roles, then you have unlimited amount of options to how you want to customize it.
Exactly, exactly. As I said, like it's all about customization. It's all about how your agency is structured. How many people do you have in the agency? What is your daily routine? So we wanted to make sure that everybody, any type of agency, any type of organization, can use the CRM, can use Inflow based on their best interest.
Mhm.
All right, so now we have the employees added. Let's say we had added a bunch of chatters, even though if we didn't, but we already did. We head over to the creators because obviously, whenever you are using Inflow, you need to have creators because otherwise you cannot use any of the features on Inflow. So we head over to manage creators. Actually, to add a creator is very simple. What I mean here by adding a creator is that you are linking your existing OnlyFans creator with Inflow. So this is a two-step process. We click on adding a creator. So the first process is creating a profile on Inflow. You can add the headshot of the creator, the name, the gender. Let me just put some data here so we could go on to the next level. You can put some internal notes, and obviously you can already assign employees. This again, the chicken the egg situation. Whenever you had which one have you added first, you can already assign them to a specific employee. So once we have the first profile connected, we can continue to step number 2, whereas connecting to the OnlyFans account. This means that once you click on connect to OnlyFans, it will just redirect you to the OF login page where you have to add the creator's login details, such as email and password, and that's it. There are no extra steps that need to be done. This is a one-time thing because it also has an auto relink system behind this linking process, which means that in every 30 days, it automatically relinks the account. So this is a one-time thing. You don't have to do this every single time. The account might get relinked. The only reason why a creator should be is delinked from or unlinked from Inflow is that in case they change their password or anything. So other than that, you don't have to worry about. And once you are done with this, I'm not going to click on it because this is not a real account, obviously. Once you are done, and if everything goes as planned, the account should appear as linked. Now, I want to stop here for a moment to explain why is it important to use Inflow as your main application for the daily routine. So whenever you are linking an OnlyFans account to Inflow, Inflow will provide a unique proxy for you, which means that this is a static IP address. It will never change. And whenever and anybody who is using Inflow, let's say a chatter, team leader who wants to check something or talk with the clients, OnlyFans will recognize that one IP address. So this is a very important information to note that OnlyFans can be sometimes tricky when it comes to those constant IP address changes. Marcus, I believe you also met with similar situations back then, that OnlyFans can get you banned because, or if you are using too many IP swaps. And when it comes to bigger, yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say for people that are watching, imagine it that I'm sure most of you guys have experienced this where let's just say you live in the UK or it doesn't matter where you live in, but then you go on holiday somewhere and you fly to another country and then you go to log into your Gmail and Gmail's like, whoa, two-step authentication. Let's just double check you're the right person. The reason why it does that, and it doesn't do that when you're just at home, is because it's noticed that you're now trying to log in from a completely different country, and it doesn't recognize that. And just to be safe, it double checks that it is you. It's kind of the same thing. So imagine it that way. So by using Inflow, no matter where your chatters are, whether it's Philippines, South Africa, America, South America, it doesn't matter. They all log in through Inflow, and Inflow has the same proxies.
Exactly, exactly. So it's best to be sure that if the organization has decided to use a CRM application such as Inflow, the proxies are assigned automatically. You don't have to request it. It's free of charge. So you can just go ahead and use it and your accounts are completely safe. I'm having a feeling that this will be a lot of reassurance for the creators as well, that they feel that their account is safe whenever they are using Inflow. Obviously, if the agency, there are different types of agencies. Some of the agencies are so very well established that they have their own custom proxy that they have been using for years now. They don't want to change it. There is a specific reason why they want to keep that proxy. Then you can also set up your own custom. So you can add your new proxy, put in the data here, and just create the proxy itself, and it's simple as that. So it's not obligatory. If anybody doesn't have an inflow, you can use our version of the proxy. It's completely safe. It doesn't hurt. It only does good to your account and to your organization.
The one more thing to add about linking a creator, by the way, sometimes you'll have to organize with your client for the two-step authentication. So they'll either get a text message or they'll get an email, and they simply just need to send you in real time as you're trying to connect the OnlyFans account to Inflow. You just simply have to organize with your client, hey, send me the OTP. They send you the number, and that's it. You just need to do it once, and then you're connected. The other thing
Exactly.
to note as well, I've experienced this myself, and I know a lot of you guys experience this as well. In other cases, sometimes you might have trouble connecting the accounts, and I mean, the only time that I've ever had this was due to the fact that the client is still connected to the previous agency's inflow, and simply to disconnect it, they can either just change the password, as Balesh has already said, and that should unlink it, or the alternative is, of course, there's two other more options. Either she just politely asks her previous agency, hey, could you please disconnect my OnlyFans account to your inflow? And then the third option is she can also email, Balesh, was it support@inflow.com, I believe?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so she can always email also from the same email she uses to log into her OnlyFans account, or the one that she created her OnlyFans account with. If she uses that email, then she emails over support@inflow.com and just simply asks, hey, can you please disconnect this OnlyFans account to Inflow? Inflow will be able to do that as well as a last resort. But typically changing the password or just simply asking her previous agency to disconnect, that would also do the trick.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you brought this topic up. So thank you for that, because in many of the cases when you're trying to link a creator and it turns out that they are already have been added, the most elegant way, of course, is to contact the previous agency or to have the creator contact the previous agency to settle down. Because what if there is some unfinished business that they have, or the creator has a contract there. So it's best to settle this between the agency and the creator. Or if nothing works, as you said, you can just change the password, log out from all of the sessions from devices, and then you can just relink the account again. Inflow is not holding any of these accounts, let me put it this way, hostages. So we have no control over it, but we are also not interfering into deciding who goes where. Because this is not our business, so we are not collaborating with agencies. We are mainly a technology company who is providing services for agencies. So any of these linking processes should be handled between the creator and agency, or alternatively the way that you and I have explained.
Awesome.
Okay. So thank you for sharing it. So let's get back to the onboarding. So we are pretty good on time as well. We have now the sales, the role settings, we added employees, we added creators. So we are actually ready to go and see how Inflow works. So once we are done, I'm sorry for that because this is a test account. So once we are done with all of these settings, we can now head over to the main dashboard, which is kind of like a starting page. Whenever you log into your account, this is the first thing that you are going to see, just sort of like a general progress on how your agency is doing at the given period that you can set up for yourself. So we have the total earnings at the above. Do note that this is always listed in gross earnings, so not the net amount, including all of the linked creators. Then we have the employee sales, which gives you all of the sales that have been generated in that, once again, given period based on the sales settings that you have initially set up. And then you have the shifts and the working hours, which you can obviously create under the shift schedule as well. So you can keep track on which chatter is working on which creator and in what time as well. Now, this is not a live, but we will soon have an update for the shift schedule. I can't wait to share it with you guys, but currently I can also tell you this, that there is going to be a huge upgrade on the shift schedule as well. Once we go to the next one, so let's check a little bit the OF Manager. So the OF Manager is basically the OF native feature OnlyFans website itself. So we have all of these different menus that might sound familiar to you because these are the actual menu bars from the OnlyFans itself. So if I click on, let's say I want to do a new post, how this works, if the creators are linked, you will see them lining up one by one below one another. And you can see that it redirects you to the OF page. So you can basically do anything you want using Inflow, and you can set anything you want on OnlyFans as well. I'm not going to go through all of this because if you guys are familiar with it, it's actually the same thing, but that's what's happening on OnlyFans. But what I really want to show you guys is the chatting interface, which is an Inflow specific feature. So it's called Messages Pro. By the way, we have a Messages Basic, which was the initial version of the chatting interface, but we are not using that anymore. We let it there because there are some cases where people are more comfortable using the older version, but it's just that reason. But any of the new features that we are adding, they are added to the Messages Pro. I just wanted to make this clear for everyone. So what happens when you open for the first time one of the Messages Pro? Let's say I'm a chatter, and this is my first time that I have been assigned to a creator. On the welcome page, you will see all of your creators that they are assigned to you. So you can have multiple.
Balash, sorry, you
Yeah.
need to reshare your screen. Sorry, my friend. You need to reshare the new pop-up of the Messages Pro.
Sorry.
And also, whilst Welsh is doing that, just a little side note as well. Very, very rarely, but whenever OnlyFans does an update, so not Inflow, whenever OnlyFans does an update, and then they do them sometimes every now and then, like a serious update within the interface or how certain things work, etc. Just to note, of course, Inflow isn't a part of OnlyFans, and which means that OnlyFans themselves, they don't really tell anybody on, hey, by the way, guys, just a heads up, we'll be changing this API or this software part, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm trying to say here is every now and then something will happen where Messages Pro needs to be tweaked and adjusted. And of course, these things sometimes take a bit of time. So if something has happened where there's an update, etc., and Messages Pro isn't working as it's meant to be, that's where you can also always use Messages Basic. And we've used that once before, in a case like this where there was an update. Messages Pro, it was loading, but there were certain, odd issues here and there, but it was fixed very, very quickly. But during that time, because we still need to, of course, reply to messages and make sales, we were just simply using Messages Basic, and we still done it for the day or two. So again, just a little reminder, if that does happen, you can always revert back to Messages Basic, which doesn't have as many features as what Balish is about to go through.
Yeah, it's a good thing you mentioned it. So thank you so much. When it comes to situations where OnlyFans could get buggy, there can be two cases. Either OnlyFans can get let's say doing a maintenance or doing an update. This could mean this is a longer conversation. I don't really want to get into too many details, but there are cases when OnlyFans, as you said, they're not asking for any of our permissions to do an update, not even other CRMs as well. Hey, listen, we are doing this update. We care about how your application might look like afterwards. That's never happening. So the key here is that how fast can a CRM or how fast in our case Inflow can adapt to the new changes. And that's why we have on the call developers, a huge team who is largely monitoring, trying to prevent that some of these updates might cripple the features. So whenever you feel like there is an update that might have affected some of the features, don't freak out. It's only a matter of minutes until we get it back on. Usually some of these updates or maintenances, they usually auto repair themselves. Even if it's just an OnlyFans outage, it usually repairs itself around a couple of minutes. Usually what I see is around 5 to 10 minutes of outages, but we also making sure to communicate this to everyone. We have a status bar, which I'm going to show you after the Messages Pro, where you can see that all of the features that are currently active, or in case there is a feature that we have to adjust, we just disable it manually until we can make sure that it can be safely turned back on. So it's a good thing that you brought it up. Thanks for that. All right, so let's get back to the Messages Pro. So as I said, once you open your account as a first-time chatter, you will have all of these accounts that you have been assigned to. You can click on them, open them, and as I said, if you have multiple accounts that you need to open, you can just open these accounts from a different tab, and you can just switch between them seamlessly. You have all the notifications. So the point of this interface is to never miss any incoming messages, because timing is the most important thing on the chatters. So let's just take one example where we see like, okay, we have a chatter here, Mary, she has a couple of fans that are writing to her. But before we get into this, let's check what we have here. So there are a couple important things that I want to mention. You can create automated messages, priority mass messages, OF mass messages here. That is of course if they are enabled for your chatters. If not, then they will just simply not appear. And you can create a new smart messages. Now, this is a feature that I'm going to cover a bit later on, but they just wanted to let you know that they can also be accessed through the Messages Pro. We have the list of online fans. What you can see here, you can also message them or send a DM directly if you have multiple, because I know that a normal OF account looks way busier than this one. Very important next step is the split inbox. Now, we have introduced the split inbox a couple of months ago, and it's already making thousands of hits from all over the world, agencies of saving their lives, of trying to determine which fan goes to which chatter. This has always been a huge headache for them. So if you enable split inbox, you can split the total inbox of the creator's account up to 9 different inboxes. So even if there are like 9 different chatters working with the same creators, they will all see their designated list, what you have set up. So I can just create like 2 inboxes, do a refresh, and I can also decide whether I want to view only one of them or both of them. This is in case you are an admin. If you are a chatter, you will obviously see only the inbox number 1. So this is a feature that I really recommend for agencies who have a lot of conversations going on with their creators. Apart from that, we also have some initial notifications here. So the biggest point, one of the biggest points on Messages Pro is not just to enhance the chatting experience, but also trying to identify, to paint a picture about the fan that you are chatting to. And also when it comes to painting a picture, you also want to make sure that you are also prioritizing these conversations based on the importance of their life cycle. So what this means is that you can see some initial logos popping up every now and then. Like let's say, for example, he's a new subscriber and turned off auto renewal. This one turned off auto renewal as well. So I want to make a quick decision, like which members should I focus on more? And if I want to kind of like deep dive into Chad Anderson's chat, I can right click and open it in a new tab. So it will permanently stay up here. And you can do the same thing, for example, for the other guys as well. So if you have favorite fans that you want to constantly make sure that you are always available and you're always receiving the notification, that you can just open them in a new tab and you can just switch between them. All right, so let's check one of the examples where I open Chad Anderson's profile, or let's say Tim nickname, because I see that we do have conversation here as well. So obviously usually the same rules apply as the normal chatting interface on OnlyFans, but with some additional twists as well. You can see who was the message sender. You can see whether the PPV was sent, whether it was purchased or not. So if it's red, it means it was not purchased yet. On the right side, you have some extra fan insights, such as the subscription status, the life cycle of the member. You can also set up some additional information about the fan, such as the time zone, location, source, where the member is coming from. You can also set up a nickname. You can set up 2 types of nicknames. So you can set up the fan's nickname if you want to send out a mass message and add a tag that's called name. They can be personalized, that they will receive the message with the nickname that you have chosen for them. Or if you don't want to bother with that, you can just set up a default nickname for anybody. We made this part customizable because we know that not every creator likes to address their fans as baby. Some of them have different ways of engagement. Then you have the fan list to indicate which collection the member is belonging to. And very important, the fan notes, which means that they are always saved. So anytime, even if I just click on it, it instantly saves, so you will not miss any notes. And this is also very important when it comes to handing over a fan to the next shift or to the current shift as well, because these notes are cross-saved across all of the employees on Inflow. So this means that even if I put a note here, the other chatter who is taking over the shift will be able to see these notes. All right, so before we finish the Messages Pro, I just want to point out a few things about the menu bar on the chatting interface. So obviously here you can type your message. We have the emojis enabled. We have some settings enabled as well. You can add media from your computer, GIFs. You can add media from the Vault, which will redirect us to the Vault Pro, which is a unique feature that we have created. I will deep dive into this. What's really important here is that you can see what are the contents that have already been sent to this fan. So it's really important to know that to not duplicate the same content all over again, even if it's a different chatter who is talking with the same fan. When the chat gets really busy, you want to make sure that you're not keep sending the same content over and over again. All right, the scripts are basically predefined templates, which means that you can create PPV templates for yourself when it comes to fast responses, or when you have your go-to PPVs that you are already making a huge sale with. You can create this for yourself using the scripts management tool, and it's just one click, and it instantly includes even the contents, even the price, the tag, everything that you have set up, and you only have to click on send, and that's it. We do have an AI co-pilot. So as the title confirms it, it's a co-pilot, which helps you to get you out of difficult situation when you are out of creativity or you have no idea on how to engage or re-engage the member that you are talking to. So this means that whenever you want to let's say relight the fire with the member that you haven't been talking to for days now, I can just click and the AI Copilot will give tokens that I can send to this member. So how this analyzes it, it checks the conversation you have with the member. It analyzes the style of the conversation, the tone of voice, including the language as well. And it gives you alternative responses based on how your relationship is with the member. This is based on credits, and this is the only feature that is of extra charge besides the subscription. I just wanted to make this clear, but it's a one credit per prompting, and I will show you when we go to the growth features on how can you set this up, and it's basically a very simple but very powerful tool to have to get you out of those difficult situations when you don't know how to respond to a message. All right, so once we are done with the Messages Pro, I believe I didn't leave out anything. Marcus, if you have something to add here, feel free to.
No, I think you said you're going to do the smart messages afterwards, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just to note, by the way, that nickname part right there, it's an absolute game changer when it comes to mass messages, which is what Bolish is about to talk about. Because instead of it just being "Hey baby" and then whatever you say, it will say "Hey" and then obviously his name or his nickname, and it will automatically put that into the mass message. And again, just these tiny little tweaks, they definitely do make a big difference. The other thing as well, sorry, Bolish, if you go back to the Messages Pro, one more thing I wanted to talk about. I kind of mentioned it on the previous one already, but like there's a few more things there as well. So for example, bottom right where you see insights, pay-per-views, and notes, especially for chatters who are, taking the shift over, or maybe it's a new account, etc. It's always good to go into these sections, and it'll give you some basic data on what pay-per-views that fan has purchased, how many, what has been the most expensive one they purchased, their spending habits. And believe it or not, every single fan genuinely does have a slightly different spending habit. So for some people, they just will not spend anything more than $50. However, in a month, if you send them enough content, they will spend thousands of dollars, but they will never buy something for like $199, right? So you'd always, and then the only way you can really find this out is by kind of scrolling through this spending habits timeline. So that's fairly important. And of course, the notes as well and insights. So again, this, otherwise, by the way, guys, if we were to genuinely go through every single button, this one video would be about 12 hours long. So we'll have to kind of skip the odd few things here and there, but that's definitely one thing that me and my team look at on a frequent basis right here on the Messages Pro.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that tip as well. Like we have all kinds of insights, all kinds of hidden buttons that can be usable or customizable depending on how your organization is run. Obviously, if we would take them one by one, we would be here for like a couple of hours, definitely. But as I said, like this is all about the courses that you also teach to your students, and also our support is always open. Whenever you have any questions, you can always contact us. We have live support available. We have email support. We have Telegram support, but I will get to that later. So you are not alone in this. Even if you are a new CRM user, we are always here to help you. All right. So moving on to the next topic, let's quickly jump into the analytics part. So when we're talking about analytics, we also want to make sure that all of the information, the data, the sales that your agency is generating you can move every single statistics within Inflow. So because we always see agencies that they are using different kinds of sheets, different kind of third-party applications to kind of like calculate their earnings and how their organization based on how their organization is run. I know that we cannot please absolutely everyone, but if we can get closer to, let's say, using most of the time the analytics that Inflow has provided, it would be it's already a win-win for both of us. So we have the creator reports, which redirects you to an overview of how your added your linked creators are doing at the given period. So you can see that you can customize it however you want it. You can have them show them by day or week, and you can also filter it, is very important, by gross or net earnings, so including or excluding the 20% fee from OnlyFans. When we go to the earnings summary, you can see the earning trends by channels, so how much they made from each of the features using it. And if you scroll down, you will see the number of creators and all of the creators' detailed incomes by channels. But this is not just by types of incomes, because we have some extra informations that have been recently added, such as their OF ranking, fans renew on active fans, average spending per transaction. So we have all kinds of important information. This is to also confirm that many of the agencies are using different kind of metrics to determine how they are scaling their models. Of course, you can check the creator's performance individually. So you will see all of the creators lining up, and you will just see a detailed breakdown of the creator that you have selected. One of the important parts here is the heat map, the earnings heat map. So you can see what are the busiest hours or days, or were the busiest days for the creators, and you can focus on setting your engagement towards that period of the time, or to allocate more people, more chatters to that specific period. All right. The next one is the employees. Now, this is one of the most important when it comes to checking the sales that your chatters have generated. And one of the reasons I emphasize to set up the sales settings before is because once you have added your employees and they started working, the employee reports is going to be the place where you will see how much did they create. And this can help you to determine, let's say, if you are paying them in commission, or you have a paying grade that you have set up for yourself, you will instantly know what are the sales that they have generated, and based on the commission, how much you want to pay with them later on. So we have the employee sales as a total. Of course, this can also be customized. And if you go to the employee comparison, you will see this is very important. You will see a sales ranking of all of your chatters here, with the best ones at the top. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see all of your employees' individual performance, something similar to what the creator reports is doing. Now, what's important here is that it's not just about showing how much did they create, because you also want to stay on top of them, stay on top of what kind of contents they were selling. So if you want to deep dive into creating an analysis, or like a quarterly feedback session for your chatters, you also want to make sure to analyze what kind of sales they will generate it. But I think, yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot open this because it's offline. Uh, if you click on this means that it will open up a new window, and you can see exactly what type of PPVs that they have generated. You can also reassign the sales if they reported that they have created a sales and it was not attributed to them. So you can do all kinds of stuff from the employee reports. One more thing is the golden and unlocked ratio. So these are very important when it comes to determining on the number of messages sent versus the number of PPVs of it. So you want to make sure that your chatters are active, but they are also efficient in terms of generating sales for your creators. So, for example, if you see one of your chatters sending 10,000 messages, but only 5 of them are PPVs, you obviously want to jump in and see what is the blocker here. How can I help you? How can we make this more frequent? Because after all, the PPVs are the ones that are going to give you the real money. And the unlock ratio is basically the number of PPVs sent versus the PPVs unlocked. So you will be a little bit addicted to these two percentages, because they really determine the success of how your chatters are doing.
One thing to add on this section right here, by the way, guys, is, and again, you don't have to do this, but this is what we personally do, is we don't actually get chatters to organize and send out the mass pay-per-view messages from their accounts. We have a specific person that does it. One of the main reasons is specifically for this, because if the chatter themselves is the one that's organizing the mass pay-per-views or mass messages through his inflow accounts, then if you scroll down where it says like messages sent, PPVs unlocked, technically those numbers are going to be off because it does attribute all of the mass messages included in that. So if you really want to see the actual golden ratio and unlock ratio, that's my suggestion, is to make sure that either you yourself just once a day you organize them from your account. So when you're looking at, and by the way, yes, like this, you should at least get addicted to these percentages here. So for example, if you're noticing that out of your free chatters, one of them has an incredible unlock ratio compared to the other two, definitely jump on a call with all three of them at the same time and get him, the guy who's getting the best unlock ratio, to just explain, okay, what are you doing differently? Because whatever you're saying and whatever you're doing, you're finding a better success rate at people unlocking it. So, and then that's how you can grow your company. I mean, without these statistics, how do you know what's going good and what's going bad and who's performing, who's underperforming, right? Otherwise, you're just guessing.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, fan reports. So fan reports are basically some initial reports to help you better explain on how your new friends are, how your fans are growing, like new fans, total fans, traffic earnings, fan retention, which is very important, and of course the top fans, which is very important for you to keep in track on which one of your fans are the so-called whales of your account. Yeah, basically that's it. You can also filter it by months and net or gross earnings as well. Now, one of the last topics for the analytics is basically the message dashboard. So the message dashboard is sort of like a quality assurance dashboard where you can actually, if you have a quality assurance manager who likes to follow up on the conversations or the tone of voice or determining the style or the brand of the agency, this is a very important tool for them because you can follow up on every type of messages that your chatters have ever sent, because you can filter it on the sender, creator, who was it sent to, the price. So, but if you are just leaving this blank, it will show you all of the ongoing conversations that are happening. You can jump to the conversation directly by opening Messages Pro, or if you feel that they have sent something that was not supposed to be sent, under the actions, you can just unsend it. So this is a very powerful tool to have for Quality Assurance Manager. All right, so now we're done with the analytics. Let's jump into one of the most important features that the reason agencies are using Inflow is because of all of those extra features that, well, basically they are missing from OnlyFans. We know that OnlyFans is rarely updating its platform, and as agencies are starting to develop and they deep dive more and more into the details, because the success is in the details, we have to make sure that they have all the necessary tools. And you, Marcus, you also know this that the more time we spend on these exploring creators and exploring the sales strategies, the more information we need to have in order to have a bigger success. So the growth features have been built up based on those incredible feedbacks that we have received over the years from agencies, including top tier agencies all over the world. Features that they have been missing, they felt like, okay, this is a necessity. So there are features under the growth which can help you to either increase in your sales or to save time or to better manage your day-to-day business. One of the most important features of the growth features are the smart messages. Now, smart messages is a feature where you can automate through a member's entire life cycle during the time that they are subscribed to your account. So what this means is that we have the member who is signing up for your account for the first time. We have when he buys a PPV, or when he comes online, or when he expired. So when we are talking about a big creator, obviously that creator has a lot of followers. And for you to keep up with those daily follow-ups, engaging these members at their very time-sensitive moments, such as when they are nearly expiring or just signed up, these are all key points in order to generate good revenue, but also to create a more deeper relationship with this member. So what smart messages can do for you is that you can create an automation for absolutely every stage of the member subscription status. Besides that, you can also create mass messages, such as you have the OF normal mass message from the OnlyFans native feature, and we have the priority mass message, which is an inflow specific feature. It can send you a personal DM to the member's priority inbox. So it's much more engaging, much more visible to the members, and it's much more noticeable whenever you send it. I will give you guys an example on this one for sure, but I just want to deep dive a little bit for the automated messages. Now, as I said, what's the life cycle of the member? Whenever they subscribe to your profile, we send them a welcome message. When they first purchase a PPV, we send them a thank you note. When they are close to expiring, you haven't spoken to the member for quite a long time. You want to make sure that they don't churn or they don't expire on their subscription. So you want to prevent that from happening. But even if they did, this is not the end of the world, because we can still send another automation when after he's expired, or when he resubscribed, or when it's his birthday. So just imagine having all of these automations set up within, of course, a reason, not to just spam them all over. But imagine having set up all of these automations and you are covered from those very time-sensitive moments where either your chatters, or if your organization is not built on like 24/7 support, you might catch the attention of these members whenever they are close to a time-sensitive situations like this. Now, one of the most highly anticipated features of the smart messages is, of course, the nudge. What it does is that it sends a message to the fan whenever they come online. And this is a very cool feature to have. If I open one of this, I'm going to show you guys like three examples. You can set up the automation and it's very customizable. So first of all, what you have to do is you want to make sure what kind of members do you want to include into this automation. You can either add all of your fans or a specific fan list from your collection. It all depends on you. This is not just one nudge that you can set up. You can set up 10 different nudges by targeting different types of lists. So the amounts of possibilities for setting up these smart messages is basically limitless. Is just use your imagination, try to see what works best. You can also A/B test some of these nudges as well and determine what's best for you. So you filter out what kind of members do you want to include, and very important, what kind of members do you also want to exclude from this? So you want to exclude whenever you are setting up, this does not apply for the nudge, of course, but if I want to send like a normal mass message to everyone, I want to make sure that I exclude the fans that I've been talking to for the last, let's say, 5 or 6 hours, so they don't accidentally get the message that I'm trying to send out because I'm actively communicating with them. Once you are done with this, we head over to the rules. So we set the trigger point. So the trigger point is, in this case, is when the fan comes online. But there is also an important thing to note that we also don't want to let the member know that this is an automated message, because this is the point. So you want to make sure that this message can get delayed for a couple of minutes. So instead of sending it out immediately, which you can, of course, if you want to do that, but we recommend setting this automation left to the short delay, where you can set up like whenever the member comes online, the system will wait between, I don't know, 5 to 8 minutes, and it will choose an interval between these 2 minutes, and it will send it out automatically. So this will make it look less like it's an automation, but more likely it was personally sent by the creator. So this is a really cool feature. We have this delay system on many other types of smart messages as well. Frequency and scheduling. Now, I want to highlight the first point, which is the frequency. If you set up an automation and you want to test out, I only want to go through this automation once per every fan, it's okay, you can select this. But if you select send every time the fan matches the trigger, this means that the fan will receive this automation whenever he comes online over and over again. But we also have a solution for that, so don't worry about spamming the exact same message, because if we head over to the message, this is where it gets really interesting. You can compose the message same way that you can compose any PPVs. You can also import one of your scripts here as well. This is the tag name that Marcus and I was talking about from the Messages Pro. So you can use the tag name to address the nicknames of the members that you have set up. So it's a really cool feature to have. And once you have set up the PPVs, you can also set up additional 4 message sequences. So what this means is that you can set up a timing after each of the messages out. Let's say I can wait 5 minutes. And if the member doesn't reply to your first message, then the system will send out the next one. And if they don't respond, it will go up until the 5 messages have been sent out. This to make sure that you have done absolutely everything you could with this automation, you maxed it out, and if it still doesn't work, you will have to jump in as a chatter and you can try to see what other methods you could use. Regarding the frequency and scheduling, what I was talking, so if we set there to send every time the fan matches the trigger, we don't want this member to receive the same exact sequence every time they come online. So you can add up to additional 10 different collections. So what this means is that collection number one is the sequence that you have already sent to the member when they first come online. If they come online again, the system will recognize that collection number one was already sent, so it will move on to the next one. And until it's maxed out, they will keep on sending different versions of nudges whenever they come online. So it's a really cool thing to have, especially when we are talking about a so frequently used automations such as the nudge. But once you are done with the automation, you can either just save it and activate it later, or you can go ahead and publish it. And the moment it triggers, the automation is sent out. Now, the same goes for any other type of automation. So if I click on, let's say, expiring soon, you can see that the setup is all the same. It's just the rules or trigger points are a bit different. So you have here, for example, when the member is close to expiring, you have to have to set up the triggering point, like let's say 24 hours, 48 hours before it expires. You can also add additional discounts for the next month if you want to create like a very promotional campaign for these expiring members. Okay, one of the things that I'm going to come back to is the potential revenue that you can generate with your using smart messages, but I'm going to talk about this when we are talking about the pricing at the end. Okay. Now, before I move on, I just want to emphasize that smart messages is a feature that it has its own ecosystem. So smart messages can be combined with most of the growth features that you see underneath this feature. So you can compare it with Smart List, which is a dynamic list where you can segment your members based on their total spendings or new fans. So let's say I want to segment my members based on their spendings. I can create segments such as they will appear as fan lists under the collection. I can set up the spending range based on how my average members are doing. And once I hit save, Inflow will start counting how many fans you have in each category, and this will keep on updating the moment somebody passes the segment amount. And what's really cool about Smart List and how can you compare it with Smart Messages is that let's say you have been asked by the owner of the agency, or you have asked one of your sales guys to, let's say, okay, we need to convert these low spending members to become high spenders or medium ones. What can we do about it? Okay, you can create different sales strategies, or you can also create a separate smart message line only targeting this specific smart list. So as I said, whenever you are configuring the new smart message, the part that it says include, you can include just the low spenders, and you can create different types of sales strategies for them with, let's say, a lower amount and start slowly increasing their spending habits. But once again, I'm not an expert on how to scale up an agency. That's your case, Marcus. So I don't want to talk about more about that, but I just wanted to show you guys like this is a possibility that the ecosystem of Smart Message is more than just this specific feature.
So yeah, just to add on top of that, by the way, guys, so instead of just using OnlyFans by itself and just trying to do a mass message to everybody and it's the same for everybody, you can really still do mass messages, but it's a lot more personalized, which doesn't seem, being sent at mass. But more importantly, when I say personalized, I mean, you can have, like Bolesh just said there, you can have different kind of strategies. So if you know that there's somebody who spent between $100 and $500, and then you have, the high spenders, but then you have like even whales who have spent more than, 1.5, 2,000. Again, it really depends on your account. You could even go ahead and have different prices, So again, that's something that we'll cover into like different lessons within the course. But yeah, absolutely. This is pretty much the bread and butter, at least for me personally, within Inflow, is using the smart messages together with the smart lists, because yeah, that's where you can really make that extra income for your agency.
Exactly. And as the list is always dynamic, you can always include the new members into the same automations that you are configuring on smart messages. All right, let's go to the next topic, which is the auto follow. So this is a very simple. I don't want to talk a lot more about the feature. So once it's enabled, it basically follows back your fans, your active fans, and what this means is that they will just receive a notification that your favorite creator just followed you back. It's an OnlyFans notification notification. It doesn't do any harm, any bad to the client. More importantly, it raises up their spirit that thinking that their favorite creator just followed them back. It kind of gives them a little bit more courage to spend some more time with the creator. Now, the next topic is equally important as the smart messages. So the Vault Pro is an upgraded version of the Vault that you guys would normally see on OnlyFans. So what are the two main problems on using the normal Vault on OnlyFans? One of them is the filter conditions, the filter part. You cannot really search for any type of accounts. And the other one is, of course, the big question, uploading contents directly into the Vault. We know that you cannot do that on OnlyFans. There is a specific reasons why they are not allowing that to happen, but we have also found a solution for that. So first of all, when it comes to navigating through Vault Pro, you can see all of the categories that you have, like let's say albums. You can also add additional albums to your account. You can filter the contents by captions, notes, or hashtags. And if you click on either of the contents, you will see additional media details, but you can also fill out. So this is based on how you can filter the accounts later on. So you have the tag creator. This is also a really cool thing because if you add a specific content as a PPV, you don't need to tag the creator, because if you added the tag to the content in the Vault, it automatically tags the creator, and you don't have to be afraid on forgetting to tag them. You have the hashtags. You can put some internal notes. And very interesting to have a suggested price where you can inform the chatters like, okay, this is the best price this picture sells. So you can eliminate this danger factor, whether they're over or underpricing this content. But when it comes to uploading content, so how do you upload a content on OnlyFans? Obviously, you either need to share it as a PPV or to post it or to send it as a mass message. We have seen many tricks that agencies have been using just to be able to add contents directly into the Vault. But I would say that the wait is over, and there is a permanent solution what you can do to upload not just one content directly into the Vault, but bulk uploading contents into your Vault Pro. So all you have to do is to have an OnlyFans account. I'm pretty sure that everybody has at least one fan account. You can select it from the group. If the authentication is successful, the next step you need to do is select the media from your computer. Let's say I made all of these photo shootings of the creators. I want to select all of them, and you will see that they will be instantly uploaded into the progress bar. Before clicking the bulk upload, you can either customize them one by one by filling out the media details, or if they belong to like a single campaign, everything is the same, you can just mass edit them. And it's simple as that. You just fill out and you don't have to deal with this ever again once have been uploaded. So you can see everything is filled out here. And once you are done, you click on bulk upload. You will see a progress bar here at the top. And while they are uploading, because you might also have videos that you want to upload, so it might take some time before it finishes the upload, you can just go ahead and do other stuff in the meantime, so you don't have to stick around to wait until it's uploaded.
And if you guys don't, you can simply just create a fan account for free, of course. Give yourself a free access, free trial link only for yourself. And then that's how you can essentially do this. If you're wondering, wait, but I don't have a fan account. I mean, yeah, it's very, very easy and quick to set up.
Yeah, 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 correct. And basically the fan account just works as a bridge between the creator and Inflow as well, just to help you pass on all of these contents to the Vault Pro.
Yep.
All right, we have talked about the scripts before. So let's say this is the place where you can create new scripts for yourself. So you can give the script a name, some contents as well if you want to set it up. And if you already have scripts, or if you are coming from another CRM and you want to import all of your existing scripts, you can obviously do that by importing them from an Excel. So we have a template that you have to download. You fill out the details and you just pull it back, and boom, everything is imported, and you can continue your work here as well. All right, a few things about the tracking links and profile promotions. So profile promotion, of course, is the same thing that's happening on OnlyFans native feature, but a little twist. So you can create promotions directly from here as well. So if you want to target new subscribers, both expired or new, you are familiar with the process here. You can set up the offer limits, and once you have created them, there is a special tool that you can activate, which is called Auto Activate Campaign. So what this means is that if the campaign has expired or all the spots have been filled, the campaign automatically renews. So if you want to have like a continuous campaign, it's always off, it's always on, it's always available for every user, you can just activate this campaign and you don't have to deal with this again, unless you change your mind and you want to deactivate it. Now, the free trial links and the tracking links are basically working around the same process. It's just with the free trial links, you are literally creating free trial promotions. So if you want to create a link, you can set up the offer limit the same way, the expiration, duration, and set up the source like, okay, this is my free trial link that I'm going to set up for my Instagram account. So make sure to only share this designated link to the account that you have set up for yourself in order to get better results or more accurate results on how your conversion is doing. One more important thing is that you also have the ability to add fans to a specific lists under collections, because you can then follow up with those exact members that you are pulling in from Instagram and target them with a special promotion or with a promotion that is related to the brand that you are representing on Instagram. Because you, as a creator, you might have like different strategies on Instagram, which is more mainstream, or X, where it's more free of exposure. So even if you have like these conditions in your mind, you can target them separately. Or, as I said, jumping back to the smart messages, you can also create automations for the specific link as well, if you put your minds into it. The same thing goes for the tracking links as well. This is just a normal OF account what you are creating for your different accounts on different social media devices. The same rule applies here as well. You can put them on a specific fan list and then target them separately if you want. All right, we have the sensitive words, which are the imported words from OnlyFans as well. The reason we let this to be totally customizable, either edit or delete or import, is because this is the English version. So we also want to make sure that if there are foreign language speakers that are using a different language, or in case an English version of the word might sound differently in another language, but it's spelled the same way, we want to make sure that these can be modified or deleted from the list. And last but not least, we are heading over to the AI Copilot. So this is the setting page for the AI feature that I just showed you a couple of minutes ago on the Messages Pro. So as I said, this is an extra credit-based tool that is also optional, so it's not obligatory to use. But if you want to use the AI, you will have to buy some credits. So how you can do that is you click on buy AI credits. And as I previously mentioned, one prompting of these three different versions will cost you 1 credit. So if you buy, let's say, 1,000 credits, it will only cost you $7.50, which can set you for quite a while. If you are thinking on only using AI as like a last case scenario, or in cases that you are stuck or you want to be like, let's say, innovate or try to look for new possibilities on engaging. Besides the AI Copilot, you can also train each of your creators individually with the AI persona. So you can train the AI to think more or create these responses based on the creator's gender, age, location, and also some content tags, which will help you to better specify what kind of direction does the AI should take. And I should also mention that the AI has been developed internally by our team, so it also speaks explicit language as well. So it's very important to note here. All right, and last but not least, I just want to take a quick step for the Share for Share, which is a cross-promotional feature between OnlyFans creators. So how this works is that once you open the Discover Creators, you will see that all of the creators, you can click on them individually, and based on your creator's OF ranking, active fans, and type of the account, they will try to offer you similar ranked or like somewhere on the same level as your creator is, just to ease up and to increase the possibility of them accepting the collaboration with you. So basically how this works is that you select the creator that you want to work with, you send the request to Share for Share. If they accept, then you can schedule each of your posts in their profile, in their OnlyFans profile, and it will stay up there for 24 hours and then automatically gets taken down. The goal of this Share for Share is to exchange some of those members that might might feel that they have a better place with you, and vice versa as well. You might have some inactive fans that they are staying there, but they have more potential on spending more on the creator. I know that this might sound like giving up some of your fans, but what if you have an inactive fan who could do more on the other creator's profile and vice versa? So at the end, you might exchange some inactive users that might become active because of this exchange. All right. And last but not least, I want to take a quick detour about our billing. So as I mentioned before, we charge per creator. We don't charge the employees. So our pricing plan goes something like this. After each end of the month, we check how many creators you have added in the month before. We calculate how much did they earn based on their gross earnings. So let's say we closed out the month of March, and on the 1st of April, we check how many creators you have added and in your inflow account and how much did they earn during that 1 month. And based on their gross earnings, we will determine for each of the creators how much how much your agency is having to pay for the monthly subscription. Now, this can be also dynamic as well because it depends on because you also can delete your creators or add new ones. So the pricing can always change over time. In order to subscribe after your free trial has ended, all you need to do is add your billing details, the ones that are obligatory, agree to the terms and conditions, and you can also update your credit card. So if you want to have like auto rebilling as well, of course, it's also possible. Now, one thing that I want to mention regarding the pricing is just I want to make sure that any of the agency users who are new to a CRM and you feel like this is a good investment, but it's a bit pricey. Apart from the competitor pricing that Info has, I want to also point out what is the potential revenue, the potential plus that you can generate using the CRM versus the one without. So I want to point out a calculator. I did this myself, but I just want to give you guys a very simple example on, let's say, how a smart message can passively increase your income without even you have to deal with it. So let's say we have a creator, we set up a PPV price. Let's say we use priority mass message. We send out one of this. And let's say, okay, let's be realistic. We send out this message to 250 fans. We don't need to overthink it. The potential revenue of this smart message is 6,250. But let's be realistic. The conversion rate is not always 100%. So we can set up, let's say, I don't know, 45%, maybe even 25%. And the potential revenue only using one automation out of those many tens or hundreds of automations that you can set up on Inflow, this can also already cover your monthly subscription for Inflow if you use it correctly. So don't be afraid of the prices that might pop up on the subscription because how Inflow was built is to really scale up your business, to really make you more money so that the little investment that you are doing towards the subscription is basically invisible. So you can see that if I add 2 more or 3 more, basically the grand total will be a lot more than this. So in short, that's it. I hope that this was useful to everyone. So once again, thank you, Marcus, for allowing me to present it. If you have anything to add or you have any questions, just feel free to let me know.
Yeah, no, that's been very, very informative. Thank you for your time also. I think for a lot of you guys, I think that one of the best things is just to, whenever you feel like you have a little bit of downtime, especially if you're new, just click around, just experiment, read all the things, test the smart list, test it, and try and think, okay, how could I combine this with this? And then really look through the platform itself. And I think for some of you guys who are familiar with e-commerce, or, I think most people know what e-commerce is, trying to run an OnlyFans management agency without inflow is the equivalent of trying to run an e-commerce brand without Shopify. Why would you do it? Physically, is it kind of possible? Sure. But like it's pointless, like it is quite literally a staple piece within this industry. And the other thing as well to note, by the way, sure, nowadays there are other competitors to Inflow trying to pop up, etc. But look, guys, there's a reason why I'm one of the biggest names in the space and why I'm working closely with Inflow is because they're the most adaptive, they're the most forward thinking, they're constantly coming up with new features, and they're constantly as well open to suggestions and speaking to you guys on a daily basis. If you guys ever need help with anything, there's literally a support chat button within Inflow. You guys saw it when Welsh was sharing his screen. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is giving you guys a lot more insights onto the different features and how you can actually start to implement them within your agency. The same as the first video, there's also going to be a link down below for you guys to go ahead and get access to this. If I remember correctly, I think there's a 2-week free trial with the code with the link down below. So at least give it a shot, at least give it a try, especially once you're starting to scale your agency and you know for sure this is what you want to do. I mean, Inflow is an absolute game changer. You guys must use it. So with that being said, all the best to you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.